So is ISIS leader al-Baghadi reportedly claiming that his group is only getting stronger? Is that true? Or is it just more desperate propaganda? Ambassador John Bolton joins us. He is a former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Fox News contributor, and senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute. Ambassador, welcome. You just heard Peter King say that Baghdadi is right. What about what he says concerning our boots on the ground and his fight against us?
Well, I think the administration's strategy to deal with ISIS has clearly been a failure up until now. Even if the Iraq government forces retake Ramadi, it's taken an incredible amount of time to get ready for it, and I think the cost has been higher than they expected. They've not really defeated ISIS. The ISIS fighters were able to get out of Ramadi, so there was no pitched battle. A lot of this is just booby traps and snipers to raise the casualties. So the dispositive encounter has yet to occur, and it's not at all clear that the Iraqi government's capable of sustaining this, going on to Mosul and really mounting an effective military campaign there. So I think what Baghdadi is doing is threatening the United States, threatening Europe. We've received a threat through Vienna that there might be a terrorist incident in somewhere in Europe before the new year. And he also threatened the monarchs of the Arabian Peninsula, which is a significant threat given that ISIS really regards them as heretics and apostates. And a threat to them and toppling one of those governments with ISIS taking control would be a huge, huge change in the region. So I think right now I'd call it more of the same. I don't regard Ramadi as a really significant victory. It's obviously a setback from ISIS, but I think a lot remains to be seen.
Well, you know, he talked for about supposedly 24 minutes or so in the speech. He did not mention Paris or San Bernardino, notable absences, because you would think he would, you know, be taking credit or claiming those. Does that indicate, do you think, that this alleged recording occurred before all this happened, that he may be severely injured, or do you read any significance into that?
Well, I think that's possible. I think the tape has not been confirmed, and certainly we don't know the dates on it. It could be something that they recorded some time ago, but held back on the release so that Baghdadi could get to a more secure location, or they could mask when and where it was actually transcribed. So, but I do think as part of their propaganda, even if it's not al-Baghdadi himself, this is the line they want to pursue to magnify their achievements. I think it's a warning to the Baghdad government and to the Russians, obviously. We've already seen one Russian passenger jet destroyed by ISIS. At least they take credit for it. So this is really, I think, a message to serve several purposes: rallying ISIS's own forces and trying to intimidate their opponents.
Do you think it's a sign of desperation or otherwise? I mean, look, the Iraqi forces look like they will take Ramadi, and the Prime Minister says it's on to Mosul. That'll be a lot tougher, though.
Well, easier said than done for the government of Iraq, and I do think this is this shows part of the problems with the Obama administration strategy, because it will require a much greater U.S. involvement to aid and assist and train and help out the Baghdad forces, the net effect of which is not simply to put pressure on ISIS, but to strengthen the hand of the Ayatollahs in Tehran in their growing interference inside Iraq, obviously in the Shia-dominated areas, which is why I don't see this as accruing over the long term on net to the benefit of the United States. In that sense, we are helping the Iranians defeat ISIS, but we're simply lessening one threat, in my view, and increasing another. The net threat remains about the same.
And finally, so what do you predict will happen?
Well, I think it's a long way to project that victory in Ramadi after 6, 7, 8 months of preparation is readily translatable into Mosul. Remember, it was in Mosul that the Iraqi army fled in fear. They discarded their weapons. They were routed, in effect. And I think ISIS is going to count on intimidating the Iraqis again, going after the Sunnis that have helped the Baghdad government retake Ramadi. I think it's a long way from over. Setback, though, this is in Ramadi for ISIS.
All right, Ambassador John Bolton, who joins us every Sunday. We thank you, as always, during this holiday weekend for your insight. See you next week.
Thank you, Eric.
Of course.